We want to have a show dedicated to people with disabilities in Minnesota. Would people be interested? And as it evolved, it became very apparent that people would be interested.
These individuals have been treated so badly, even to this day, with all the changes that have been made that are absolutely great. There's still a long way to go. So they're happy for the opportunity to be part of something that opens doors for them.
People with disabilities are so underrepresented in the media, so I think it's just fantastic to show them in film.
I think it's important to see all sorts of people represented in the medium.
It's very humbling every day to realize through these films how much we've changed and how much work we have to do.
The power of film to change people's perspectives, to open people's minds, is so powerful that we're just thrilled to be part of this process. Really are proud to say, hey, Minnesota, look what we've got here.
All Abilities Filmmaker Showcase is a Minnesota Partnership co-production of Partnership Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization creating partnerships between people with disabilities and the community, and Twin Cities Public Television. Curation of the films was conducted by the Independent Filmmaker Project of Minnesota. Additional funding for this program has been provided by Medica Foundation and Marlys G. Berry Fund.
I want people to tell their friends, their mothers, their parents, their sisters that they were so touched by these films that a stereotype in their mind was erased, that an awareness was lifted, that they were uplifted, that they walk out smiling in a way that puts an energy into the world that continues other people to want to smile and work harder towards change.
The heart of the story for me was a couple of things. The biggest one was love. When you walk into this house and you see just pure love with all of them, that transcended any disability or any issues that were going on. It was just an amazing household with amazing people, and that truly became the heart of this story, is what can be done when you just look beyond any physical disabilities or physical challenges that somebody may have and just say, I want to provide a home for this little girl, and yes, there's some medical issues, some physical challenges, doesn't matter.
I have had the good fortune of working with a really special family that came to us seeking to expand their family. They were biological parents of one son at the time who had significant medical needs.
Carson spent most of the first year of his life in the hospital, struggling to stay alive.
He was probably about 3 to 4 years old when we decided we were ready to expand our family. We did have a lot of challenges, both getting pregnant as well as staying pregnant. Once we decided to move forward with adoption, we very quickly actually made the choice to move forward with LSS.
They came to us exploring all of our programs, really open to looking at children who were waiting in the foster care system, to children waiting in orphanages around the world, or to infants. I happened to get a message across our adoption listserv about a little girl whose needs appeared to mirror their son's medical needs. I felt like I had to ask them and wondered if it would be, we can't do that again. We've 2 children with challenges, feels big.
It was about 2.5 weeks later that she called one evening and said, I think I found a little girl for you. She shared that she's a toddler, she's had open heart surgery, she's living here in Minnesota, and she has a hearing loss. And we have a son who's had 2 open heart surgeries and has a hearing loss. She said, I don't have much more, but I can certainly find out more. Are you interested? And I don't know that she even got the words out of, are you interested? And I said, yes, absolutely. I don't think we slept much that night, to be honest with you. We were pretty full of anxiety, full of excitement, and full of hope. So fast forward to the day that we found out that we were chosen to be Grace's parents. And that evening, so the county social worker, when she had called us and shared that we were chosen, she asked if it was okay to give the foster parents, Ron and Jane, our phone number. I said, absolutely. We talked daily, sometimes multiple times a day, in terms of, well, what is she like? We didn't know Grace's first 17 months, so it's been invaluable. They picked her up at the hospital when she was 2 days old. She was a mess, had a lot of sensory issues. They got her through countless surgeries, countless therapy appointments, and she's only known love.
The experience that we gained with Carson, we've certainly been able to put to good use with Grace as well. These issues don't seem so scary to us anymore. Looking back on them, they were terrifying. But now that we've dealt with them and the kids have overcome them, it seems in some ways easier. When we knew Carson had a hearing loss, we immediately started learning sign language on our own and teaching Carson sign language. And now Grace has been picking up sign language as well. Carson is a techie. He likes his technology, and that's common for people in the deaf world. Grace is not the techie that her big brother is. She's an outdoors kid. From the moment she wakes up, she's outside riding her bike, on her scooter. She's the little green thumb in our family.
They face such amazing obstacles and challenges, and neither of them should be alive today, but they are. And so I felt strongly that through God's hands this was supposed to happen.
I have just been so amazed by the hearts, the love, the resilience of families who have adopted. The greatest reward is always seeing families and children come together and the joy that is a part of that.
It's all about really just showing the beauty in the relationship between the human and the dog, and why people with an assistance dog, a really well-trained assistance dog, they have their lives incredibly broadened. That now, like Amy says in the video, now she doesn't fall over all the time anymore and hurt herself, and now she can do these other things. And so that was really the point of it, is to just try to show what a person can do and what their lives can be like with a dog.
Dear Can Do Canines, I'm writing to let you know what life is like for Digger and me lately. I'm just finishing up college in River Falls and can't imagine life without him. As you know, my cerebral palsy makes it hard for me to balance. Before Dinger, I would be exhausted from the simple effort of staying vertical, which for me takes conscious effort. My knees and palms were scraped and bruised from tripping on the way to and from class and breaking my fall on the unforgiving cement about once or twice a week. But with Dinger helping me balance, I've only had a handful of serious falls in the entire year and a half we've lived together. Wait. Step. Wait. Step. Wait. I used to use a walker, which I hated. There's a certain stigma attached to being outwardly disabled. With a walker, you're at best an oddity, at worst something to be avoided. But with Dinger, that changed for me. I get to be just the girl with the crazy black lab. Dingy door. Door. People approach and have a conversation with me now who probably would have been too intimidated to do so in the past. I could tell 100 more stories and not adequately impart to you how much it means to me to have Dinger by my side as I contemplate graduation and try to figure out where my path takes me next. It means so much to all of us who receive dogs that your staff puts in all of this work and then gives the dogs away for free. because they believe so passionately that finances should not be a barrier to dignity, independence, and quality of life.
Grace? Good boy.
To everyone who put in hours upon hours to help mold Dinger into the happy, spirited, fun-loving dog that means so much to me, all I can say once again is thank you so much for my boy. He means so much to me. He is my best friend, my counselor, my playmate, and my legs, all rolled into one big, barreling black ball of fur. We wouldn't be together without you. So, for everything you've done, thank you so much. Sincerely, Amy and Dinger.
The Joe Stone Foundation film was really, you know, it's really inspired by just the beauty of not only personal discovery, but helping other people. And that's something I've learned throughout my own journey of acquiring a spinal cord injury through outdoor adventure, having already kind of found that passion within outdoor adventure, realize how many other people with disabilities were struggling to get in the outdoors, be active, get involved in their community in that way. And so I just started sharing it with people. So we'd get someone together and, hey, we'll try the raft, let's just get out and do it. And luckily some people let me film it, and by the end of the summer I had all this footage, and it was pretty powerful because I was looking at the footage of me doing it and I was excited about the things I've done, but when I saw the moments of helping other people, it was like, whoa, that's bigger. That's a much bigger thing. And so I hope that's what people see in this film, is just really the beauty in not only pushing your own limits, but how powerful it is to share what you've learned with other people. And that's what I'm trying to, I guess, convey in this film.
freedom. Freedom from the wheelchair. Out there, doing what we love to do, having fun in the woods.
You're like, my blistered is so bad. She blistered the crap out of her fingers, out of her thumbs.
It is the price you pay for having fun, though.
That was great, Joe.
Was it?
Absolutely terrific.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Kevin. I was living the dream, waking up to some absolutely gorgeous morning sunrises, flying in some absolutely gorgeous helicopters all over the world. I was living the dream. From Switzerland to Kansas to Oklahoma to Texas, all over the place, flying day after day after day, just enjoying the scenery, enjoying the helicopters, enjoying my life. Did I mention by any chance that I was living the dream? On October 2nd, though, that dream changed. I was involved in a helicopter crash which left me paralyzed from the neck down. It was a tragic event that none of us wish would happen to anybody, but it does happen, and we all have to pick up the pieces and move forward. Stuck at the bottom of that wreckage, I didn't know what was going to happen. Fortunately, EMTs arrived, and they pulled me out of the wreckage, and I started my journey in recovery. I've been involved in rehab for the last 7 months, and the final story here is I'm moving on. I started a new dream, and now I'm riding in style with the new van. I am living the dream. It's just a different dream, but that's okay.
My film is an animation that kind of gives people an introduction to cerebral palsy, which is a disability, which is what I have actually. So it just gives people kind of the basics on cerebral palsy. I'm hoping my audience will realize that cerebral palsy is a common disability and they might have it or they might know someone who has it, and they can start to understand it a little bit more, because a lot of people, when they meet me, they just think I broke my leg or something. So when they see my animation, hopefully they'll be able to learn a little bit about it and learn a little bit about me too, because it's part of who I am.
Hi, this is Bob. Bob uses a wheelchair. Bob wants to tell you a little bit about his disability. Bob has cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is a neuromuscular disorder. That means it affects a person's bones or muscles. Cerebral palsy is caused by brain damage that occurs before, during, or shortly after a person is born. Cerebral palsy can cause a person's muscles to be tight or loose. This can cause bone deformities and make it hard for a person to walk or balance. And because the tongue is a muscle, it can even make it hard for a person to talk. People with cerebral palsy may use crutches or wheelchairs. Doctors may recommend medicine, physical therapy, or surgery to people with cerebral palsy to lessen the difficulties caused by the disorder. Cerebral palsy is a very common disability, and many people watching this video may know someone with cerebral palsy, or they may have it themselves, just like Bob.
I had to kind of wrestle with outing myself, basically. I got into the mental health field through being somebody who experiences mental health symptoms, but that fact has long faded into memory and nobody knows that. And so I'm a little nervous to, be that guy again. But on the other hand too, if it can help people, if it can know that, it's kind of cliche, but if they can let people know that there's other people out there and people who, can hold down jobs and who have great family support and, people who keep, crashing and burning, but keep getting up again and things like that. If that can help people realize that,
it's cyclical, and even though you're down in the dumps and you screwed everything up, it's possible to build yourself back up.
My brain's always moving up, moving left, moving right, moving up, moving down, moving to the side, moving. Sometimes my thoughts just keep getting away from me. They get away. I can't speak, I can't talk. I can't seem to keep up with my thoughts. They move, they move. Always going, until clarity. I am the best person in the entire world. Everybody loves me. You better watch out. They're out to get you. Look at the looks on their faces. You better check around. Make sure everything's on the up and up. They could destroy you. Everything you've ever worked for. Leave you out in the cold. Nothing. Absolutely. What? It happened. It happened. Oh, no. Oh. Oh. Do it. It's the only thing that'll take away the pain. The pain. It's the only way. The only way. The pain. The pain. The pain. You've been coming to group, taking your meds, holding down a job for 9 years now. Just keep it up. Everything will be great.
LifeWorks organization celebrated their 50th anniversary. And as part of that, we were trying to tell stories that sort of embraced the spirit of the organization over the past 50 years. It was humbling for me because I see these people with these amazing smiles on their face going out, working in their job, getting a paycheck, living on their own, when people for years said, no, you can't do that. You're just, you've got a disability. And the fact is they have special abilities. They may be different than mine, but they're as valid as anyone that I might have. And so I think I learned to try to be a little more humble and to be a little more accepting and supporting of those who just have different abilities than myself.
When I first started in 1973, I was working with preschool children, and several of them are back with us today. And that first year teaching young children, it stands so bright in my memory. One of the cutest little boys was Chris Yule. Curly hair, just on the move all the time, curious about everything. And I got to teach him for several years before he went into the public schools at age 5, probably 2 or 3 years. So got to know him pretty well. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I wonder what's going to happen with Chris. He was so active, and if he could settle down, he really could learn things. Well, sure enough, at 21, he came back to LifeWorks and started working at different jobs. He was working at Cray Research, cleaning. He did some work at Blue Cross. He's been all kinds of different places. Today he's back at Blue Cross doing some clerical work, and I get to see him every once in a while. Today, Chris Yule has gray hair, which I cannot understand how that could have happened. But it is amazing to see the changes over time. He's got his own apartment. He's got his own job. He's got a life, and that's what we were hoping for these young kids when we were starting this program back in '65 and '73. And now today, as a nearly senior citizen, he's doing quite well.
A friend of mine I worked with for 7 years, and she passed away this past winter. And before she passed, my wife wrote a story with her about her life, basically being in institutions in Faribault. and the challenges she faced. It wasn't that long ago when this stuff was going on, when people would just be put in institutions and kind of forgotten about. Really, it was just 30, 40 years ago, and I know that Andy, when she was around, was always worried that that she didn't want that to ever happen again to the state, or people in the state, and that hopefully this gives people a better understanding of somebody that could have been her neighbor, their neighbor their whole life, was in a completely different situation, when she was younger.
I know she's in a better place where she's not in pain anymore. She doesn't have to worry about life's on earth difficulties or worries anymore. She can go wherever she likes to be, and she can be free.
Today we're here to share the story of Andrea Spang, written in her own words. My name is Andrea Spang, and I have cerebral palsy. At age 3, I was studied at St. Barrett's Hospital for a week, and eventually determined to be a mentally deficient person. This is the first time the doctors tried to convince my parents to have me committed. My family fought to keep me living at home while I attended Michael Dowling School for Crippled Children for 8 years. By 1963, at age 16, I was institutionalized in Faribault State School and Hospital.
I don't think a day has gone by that we haven't relived a memory from Andy's life, or what she did for us, or what she meant to PRI. I miss Andy every day, and I know her memory will last in PRI and throughout the community for years to come.
Because of my physical speech impairment, it was assumed that my intellect was minimal. This caused me to be housed with patients much below my functioning level, who were often treated more poorly than those who could report their conditions. While at Faribault, I rarely saw staff or teachers. Patients were maintained to a bare minimum. Once a week, we were all put in the shower room and hosed down. If you had the ability to wash yourself, you were lucky. At night, everyone was strapped to their metal cribs. Giant rooms filled with row after row of these bed cages held adults of all functioning levels. Through the scream and clinch-filled night, there was not privacy, decency, respect. Towards the end of my stay, the doctors decided I needed experimental surgery on my legs to undo my disease. Despite my refusal, it was done. I never walked again.
A picture is worth 1,000 words. Andy's smile is worth 1,000,000 words. Never in my life have I seen anyone with a better attitude. And I've been around the block.
There is no time but now, there are no goodbyes. It's only a paper hanging in a page.
Andy's one of those people that you get to meet in your life, one of those very few people that you go, oh my goodness, she's one of the finest people I've ever known. And to learn from her and to live with her and to enjoy art with her really transforms me as a person and as how I looked at people with disabilities and their art. Cheers to her. Cheers to Andy.
I have lived a long life, working every second to overcome obstacles no one should have to endure. Finally, we have the resources, manpower, and ability to ensure that every human, no matter how able, be treated equally. People first.
Showing the lives of people with disabilities is very important in terms of educating the public, just kind of showing that just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you can't have a full, rich, active life. And I think a lot of people in our society don't necessarily know that in so much.
And then I always ask him where you're going for lunch. Now last week, was it last week you guys went out for corn dogs?
Nah.
Yeah? Because typically it's Italian, it's pizza. But you had it in your head that you wanted to have corn dogs. Two!
How you doing today? What's happening? You're quiet today, all right. He's focused.
So, we appreciate his help. A whole lot. You work hard, don't you, Joe? Yes, you do. We love it.
Happy work, and he's just wonderful. I can't do my job without him. Joe.
Is he getting all emotional?
Are you getting emotional?
No, I'm not. We're just finishing up, aren't we, Joel?
We got a big job to do.
Yep.
Well, you want to go finish it?
Awesome.
Okay. We'll see ya.
Okay, bye.
All right.
You're getting a lot of experience here. But you figured you'd probably take my place as county commissioner in a few years, huh? You'll probably do a better job than me. In recognition of Joel's 25 years of dedicated service to our county as chair of the Washington County Board of Commissioners, I do hereby proclaim February 4th, 2015 as Joel Lord Day at the Washington County Government Center. People with disabilities is very important to Washington County. We're an organization that reaches out to everybody for employment.
Well, when he graduated from school, he had been doing some laundry work in his school training, and there wasn't any positions like that available. So his case manager at the time here at Washington County thought that Joel could do some task here for secretaries. So that's really how it came about. He enjoys his work and been now at it for the 25 years. How about a hug? You want a hug, Mother? Okay.
There's initiatives abounding in our country today to try to promote the inclusion and the employment of people with significant disabilities in our communities. Joel is a living example of how that can work. And while I wouldn't necessarily say that it's going to work for everyone, with support and with recognition and community participation from coworkers. Many people with disabilities who are not employed today certainly can and should be included and employed in our communities.
Back in March of 2010, Mike Hansen and I started on the 2,174-mile Appalachian Trail, and our point was to publicize the 70% unemployment in the visually impaired community, and to show what people with disabilities can do and what everybody can do in overcoming obstacles, to keep trying, to keep fighting, and keep working towards your dreams. The celebration of ability is a wonderful thing. I believe that's always a part of the challenge of dealing with a disability, is being able to show clearly and cleanly what people with disabilities are able to do.
It's got to be getting to the top.
Hello, Mr. Jones. My name is Mike. I'm calling from Scantron about a letter we recently sent concerning our new Insight 30 all-in-one scanner. I feel just like a parrot. My name is Mike. Okay, fine. Didn't want to talk to you either. It comes out to about $8 per hour.
Do you sometimes ever get depressed about it or bummed out?
Yeah, I mean, it's very frustrating to hold 3 degrees and not be able to find anything better than this. I got my law degree in 2005, passed the bar in 2005. You know, eventually it gets to feeling like running your head into a wall, or running my head into a wall over and over again, and it gets pretty frustrating.
Okay, today is 3/6, and we have Mike Hansen, blind hiker, starting for Mount Katahdin. Hey, Mike? You ready to roll? Yeah. Okay, lead the way, buddy.
I mean, I guess on one hand, I'm very grateful to be one of the 29% that has something. I know a few people who've had fairly serious problems with drugs and alcohol. I know some other people that I would not be surprised if they suffered from depression.
About 5 things you got to think about every time I take a step. What does this cane tell me about the ground? What's the ground covered with? Snow, ice, mud, dirt, rocks, roots, flat on a hill. And the big decision is whatever I'm stepping on going to hold my weight.
So the concentration's tremendous, it sounds like.
Yeah, let's put it this way. It's not a good place to daydream.
Now. I want you to hug this rock to your left, okay? And follow it down. Keep following it down. Mike, stay left.
Harry, I can't deal with too many things at once.
Okay, I'm sorry. Just want you to stay left. But, you know, I'll leave you alone if you want me to. I don't know if you can sense it, but there's a series of reasonably flat rocks there ahead of you.
Yeah, about a 1/4 inch wide.
That's about it.
I think that we can really make a statement.
Like I keep saying, I ain't doing nothing. A lot of people I know couldn't do, Gary.
Yeah, you mean other visually impaired folks?
Yeah. I mean, I wish I didn't end up basically having to do something like this to prove a point that a lot of us prove every day of our lives. And more would if we had the chance.
Come on, Mike. Just get out of the wind for a minute. Careful. I'm going to get down for a minute. Get out of the wind for a second. Got the rain. There. The rain's going horizontal. Okay. All right.
I hate to keep harping on the 71% unemployment rate, but that's something I always have to think about.
Is that part of why you decided to do the AT?
Yep. What's significantly better than doing nothing? I mean, at least this is going somewhere forward. Not as fast as I like, and not quite in the straight line as I like, but yeah, it's going somewhere. And going somewhere forward is a whole lot better than going nowhere at all.
When you write stuff for actors, there's always going to be some sort of acting problem. And Tom approaches problems slightly differently. So, you know, problem, there's a turkey in the car, how do you get it out? And I remember that happening, and it took him a little bit longer to get that turkey out of the car. So those types of things I kind of find interesting working with Tom. I remember when the turkey fell out on the ground, he said, Mike, I can't pick this up and carry it. And I said, well, you know, your car breaks down, what would you do? And then he found the solution within that. So my approach to working with Tom was kind of let him discover his own solutions, just like any actor. So, and he came up with very interesting ones, I think.
I just was confronted by my one of the art teachers at MSS and my case manager, and she said, would you like to be in a movie? Would you like to maybe film something and do something? And I said, sure, I'll do it. It sounds like a fun adventure, and it sounds like something I can really do. Filming can be very open, very fun, and I learned that filming can be very scary or uncomfortable sometimes, but it can also be really, really interesting and really, really very nice. Dreams are a strange thing in an earth of ice and fire. Sometimes they can be wonderful, leading to a heart's desire, but also show great darkness, inborn terror laid, as upon every night we shut eyes as new ones are made. Silly and real, unify in our sleep, only fleeting memories are ours to forever keep. Some say reality, others say a myth. Who's to judge or to smudge this glory of the night, when wild beats tame under our sheets of white?
Our film's called Underland. We've been building it for the last 2 years. We're shooting the third part of the trilogy this summer. I'm a transition teacher by trade. I work with 19 to 21-year-olds. And my whole job is just to get them jobs and get them work in the community, getting outreach, and getting prepared for life after school. And so doing this has been just wonderful because I finally have all these different outlets that aren't just folding laundry in a nursing home or wrapping silverware at a restaurant. Finally, they're getting to do something that's out of the box, super fun and exciting, and it allows them to shine like the superstars they are. It was about 6 years ago. We started with the Highland Friendship Club, looking for more summer programs that would be beneficial to the members.
Okay, in action, Bear Glove, clap your chest. Give it face.
And then we had this idea for the movies. We had, I think, 12 to 15 members really involved in the first couple of movies, and then it just kept blossoming.
Just go all the way back.
All the way back.
Bring it back.
I call up all the actors that I'm interested in having major parts. Here's some ideas I have. Can you piggyback off that and give me more ideas?
Come one, come all, the greatest show.
Last year we added an entire circus sideshow just after some of the members' ideas. Another student really wanted to go into a hot air balloon, and so we developed hot air balloon pirates. So we had these brainstorming sessions where we talk about the character. I'd draw them out as they were talking about what they liked and what they didn't, and they got to tell me too dark or too light, or I want a hood or I don't, and then we put the Underland splash on it with the stripes. Libby is one of our excellent characters. She plays Suki. She's in love with dogs. She developed this dog costume kind of deal with a fun fuzzy hat.
Your dog, he chose me.
Last year we had our first night class for Movie Magic 101, teaching the very basics of filmmaking. We try to give them a taste of everything. It gives them more confidence.
The third part of the movie is get the costumes ready and also get the people ready.
So we ended up deciding after the first year to go with all ADR, so all recorded after the fact. And I'd be able to work with them to coach them into saying the right things and using inflection.
Hey, who you calling simple?
Hey, who are you calling simple?
If you're a parent or PCA or just there to watch, you're going to get thrown into a costume and pretty much be on scene because they can work side by side with the person that they're helping, and you can't tell.
Keep working it, doing so good.
With the original story, we thought, hey, why not use some original music? Larry McDonough, the parent of one of the members, is a great musician. Working with him, we came up with just an amazing piece that really allowed our members to really show off their abilities.
A reason to shine.
We always have some kind of a theme or some kind of a moment of the movie that's designed to spur conversation. We wanted to make people gasp and get uncomfortable. because it's not always comfortable talking about people with disabilities in our world today. Talking about bullying and using violence. Lucian is kind of playing a bad guy. Talking with the actor, he wanted to explore that and find out, more about himself, more about his social interactions. And he came up to me after the filming of it and said, I used to be a bully, but I think I can change now. I know I can change. I saw it happen.
I do want your power, but not in the way you will it.
So the premiere is just an amazing event. It's pretty much the reason why a lot of people even get involved in this, is to see these awesome actors shine on the red carpet and up on stage accepting awards. They get to look around and see all of their friends and family that have come to watch, and it's just an amazing buzz, an amazing feeling being in that auditorium. I've seen some of our actors get acting jobs out of state, like as actual paid actors. Other things I see are confidence, big time confidence.
Wait, what?
Getting people to start speaking up for themselves and doing things for themselves. It gives them such a great outlook for social interaction.
This is my costume.
Kept telling me, don't do that much. Keep it simple. Who wants easy, really? I mean, these guys have been through some pretty hard moments in their lives. Nothing's really come easy. People came in expecting something a little less. And when they see all these crazy cyborgs and weird costumes and crazy makeup, they start realizing that these guys with significant disabilities can do so much more.
It's time for those who've been oppressed to rise up and take back their freedom.
Get your body moving. Get your body moving. Get your body moving. Everybody here, let me see you dip. Let me see you dip.
All Abilities Filmmaker Showcase is a Minnesota Partnership co-production of Partnership Resources, Inc., a nonprofit organization creating partnerships between people with disabilities and the community, and Twin Cities Public Television. Curation of the films was conducted by the Independent Filmmaker Project of Minnesota. Additional funding for this program has been provided by Medica Foundation and Marlys G. Berry Fund.